Good evening, everyone. This is Vonda Evans, and as promised, I said that I wanted to do something about parenting with your ex. Now, let me just start for a little bit, and this is going to it's not as easy as what we may think that, you can listen to something and that somehow, what I'm going to say is going to be able to solve your situation. I'm just merely giving you some ideas of what I think is helpful and important. Having been a mother with two children, and I was divorced. And, we both have two very successful children that I'm very, very proud of, two college graduates. That's wonderful. But more important, they're well balanced. So let me just tell you what I think leads to that. First of all, we have to determine and look in the beginning of what was the basis of the relationship that you were in. What do you mean? Well, if you have a child that's in a committed relationship, that means that you all both were dating, you're committed, you're married. When the breakup occurs, it's bad, but it's not as bad. But when you are in a situation where there was just a non-committed relationship, okay, a booty call, and all of a sudden somebody decides they're going to get pregnant, or that the man is not going to use the precaution necessary and a child is born, then normally that man is going to look at that child as an extension of you, that you tried to trap that person. Now, obviously, we know it takes two to tango, but at the end of the day, reality is what we perceive it to be. So if I believe that I'm talking to a plant, that's what I'm talking to. So what we have to do is determine how this child came to be, okay? And that's critical, okay? And that's why it's important, not to think, for my younger ladies out here, well, we about 10% away from this relationship, but a baby gonna bring us together. In the Bible, a baby ain't brought them together, and it ain't going to do that now. The Quran, everything. A baby is not going to bring a unit together, okay? That's up to the adults to do that, all right? So what happens when you have a relationship and there's a breakdown? Well, let me tell you what happens. There are 5 stages like death. There's denial. I can't believe that this is happening. It's anger. That anger is normally directed to the person who initiated the breakup. Bargaining. If you come back and we'll be a family, this can work out, please. Depression. Why did this happen to me? All my friends, they're in a committed union, and here I am with this baby, and I'm by myself. And I'm going to just use the gender of a woman because that's what I can relate to, okay? So please don't say, well, a man too. I'm just going to use that, okay? And then there's ultimately acceptance. But it takes time for each of these things to occur. So the thing about it is that you have to navigate this. Okay? And as I indicated in my post earlier, I don't care how your relationship was. You can't deny a man or a woman an opportunity to parent their children. See, this is a committed relationship. Okay? This is the child, this is you, this is the man. Then all of a sudden, stuff starts unraveling. Okay? It just starts unraveling. Cheating, infidelity, whatever. It's just unraveling, okay? But there are 3 separate entities here. There's the mom, there's the dad, and then there are the children, okay? And the issue then comes up is, how do I deal with this? Now, any breakup is going to be hard because breakup is a failure. And a lot of people cannot accept failure. People want people to live forever. They want to be married forever. They want to have a relationship forever. Maybe they weren't equipped to be in a relationship in the beginning. But no matter what, it unravels. It comes apart. Then there are the angry words against each other. But understand this. Your child, DNA, is half of that man that you chose and half of the woman that you chose. And they're a micro representation of that man or of that woman. And so when you look at them, you see them. You see their mannerisms of your spouse or your ex. You see the way that they talk, the way they act. And automatically, because in your mind there's no time or place, what you talking about? I can say something to you and you can be a grown person and you can remember when you were in the third grade, Miss Jones said the same thing to me and you back in the third grade just for that moment in time. So all of a sudden, they see a mini you, a mini your ex, and they don't want to see it because they're hurt, because they're in pain, and they become angry. It's not that they don't like their kid. That doesn't happen. It's that that child represents part of you. And because they're not with you, they want to somehow punish you through this child. Is it wrong? Absolutely. Do we do it? Yes, we do. Okay, so let's get over that. But he hate his son, he hate his daughter. That's not the truth. Okay? But now what you have to do as an adult is you have to have boundaries. What does that mean? Simple. When you are dealing with your ex, you have to limit phone contact. How are you? This is when the pickup will occur. This was when the drop-off will occur. Well, none of that small talk. Let that go, even if that's what you want. Once you take your child to meet their father, I don't care who he is or their mother or who she is, they love him. And when you talk about them, you hurting them. You're attacking their DNA. Because no matter what, that's their mama. I'm going to tell you a short story. There was a woman, and she married a man. And the boy was 10 years old. And every Friday, his mother was on drugs, and she come by and pat a little boy in the head and take his money. He did this every week till he got to be 17. Then he stopped. I said, what, he got smart? The woman said, no, he died. See, to the world, that was a crack user. But to him, that was my mama. And whatever contact he could get, he loved. So when you say something negative about your ex, although it may be deserving, you're attacking that child. And what you're going to do, you're going to push your child away. And when they get in that street, can't nobody but God bring them back. So in the meantime, what you need to do is you need to not engage that child at all. Not say negative things at all, because that doesn't help anything. It's like, when you barbecuing and the little coals, you can't see the fire, and you put the stuff on it, go, oof. That's what you're doing. You're igniting a fire. Now, when your child is gone, release them. Children come through us, not from us. They from God. So when they in visiting, don't be calling. Don't do any of that. That's free time for you, okay? Oh, my daughter wanted to be tagged in. That's wonderful. That's free time for you. And that's their time. If they want to feed them chili cheese fries and pop every day, as long as they're not sexually abusing them, that ain't your business. Well, that's not how I want. That ain't your time. So you have to let that parent the way they feel comfortable. Well, every time I take my daughter to visit her girlfriend over, that's not your business. Well, they at their grandma, that's not your business. You need to focus on getting you right, healing from your pain, looking for healing so that you can go forward. Because one day, your children going to be grown and gone like mine are gone, okay? So all of that, I'm going to live and die for my kids, and you're going to be alone and by yourself. So that's another story, so I'm not going to get into that. Pick your children up at a neutral place. What do you mean? For the life of me, why parents end up taking their children to a police station is beyond me. It's making them be punished for the time that they spent away from you and with their other parent. The police station is where criminals go. It's not where children go. So what do you suggest? Go to McDonald's or someplace with a PlayStation. Order you a pop. You got a receipt and a time on it. Put in your pocket. Go to the play area. They come up. They order them a pop. They get a receipt. Child is deposited in the play area. Keep it moving. Then what you don't do is you don't attach this level of fear and apprehension to the drop-off. The next thing, do not refer to your ex negatively. Hey, how was dad? You know, you had a nice visit with dad, you had a nice visit with mom. That's their name, dad and mom. I don't care if they call you something else. Their dad or mom. That's it. Don't quiz your children. Well, what y'all do over there? What y'all eat? Where'd y'all go? That's not your business. And stop being in people's business. Because you got a life that you got to lead. Remember? Y'all separate. You understand that? Don't get into that. That's not your concern. Be patient. But when you are in an area and you on the phone and you got something negative to say, children hear that and it hurts them. And they say, you know, that's my dad or that's my mom you're talking about. Let me tell you something about children. They see what you see. They see disappointment. They see despair. They see loneliness. They see anger and they see frustration. You won't have to tell them. They already know what they're dealing with. All they want you to do is be consistent. The minute they hit you, because somebody said, well, what is that about the 50-50? Well, let me tell you about that. The minute they come in your house, if you want them to have organic asparagus and distill in spring water, you do what you want to in your home. But you make it a place that they come to, that they're relaxed. You make sure that study time is consistent. Every time you get them, it's got to be from 4 to 5. I don't care what you got going on. It has to be. Snack time has to be consistent. Dinner time has to be consistent. You know, homework has to be consistent. Church or temple has to be consistent. Because you're the one that is providing the consistency. Are you the better parent? No. Because it ain't no better in this. Okay, so don't get into that. It's a different way of parenting. What I believe that we miss in life is that when that other person disappoints their children or they don't come, or we somehow want to make it up to them. Don't nobody make it up to us when we grown. So as little children, they got to learn to deal with disappointment. Like I tell my daughters all the time, baby, you're going to be played in life for 3 things: your time, your money, and your sex. Be able to walk away, get up and walk away, and keep it moving. But life is full of disappointment. And so if they're young and they experience it, guess what? They're going to experience when they get old. You can't prevent that. Well, he didn't show up or she didn't show up or they didn't do that. Hey, but does that mean we go to the mall and no, that does not mean that. That means that life goes on and we're going to be consistent in what we do. I'm not going to go and buy, Air Jordans or do this for you or make excuses. I'm not going to do that. I'm not even going to talk about it. I'm going to keep it moving, because that's what adults do. They keep it moving. When you disappointed, you keep going. When you don't get what you want, you keep going. And you realize this, that a journey of 1,000,000 miles starts with a single step. So let me go back over these things, okay? Because I don't want to talk too long. And the thing about it is that because I think that this is such a critical area, I'm going to do more on it because I see a lot of people are watching. And let me say this to you. I've learned these tips from being a divorced mom, being in family court, and just living, okay? And the thing about it is stop believing that, oh, they hate their kid. No, they don't. They disappointed in the breakup. But in time, everything heals. And you have to give it time. You don't need to point out nothing that they see already. You don't need to discuss it. You teach them about disappointment young. And you keep it moving. Because it's things that you've done that you've disappointed them. So let's go over those things. Number one, limit that phone contact with your ex. This is the date of the pickup. This is the date of drop off. Anything else after that, after you send that text message or that recording, don't engage them no more. You got to put them on block till that day comes. That's fine. Because what they'll do is understand that they can't push your buttons. Number two, do not call and check on your child during their visitation. It's wrong. It's a violation of their parenting time. And let them parent the way that they want to. Right or wrong, your kid's going to figure this out. Number three, pick a neutral place. As I've indicated, somewhere like a playscape, somewhere that's not expensive. There are other people that are around. You come at your time. You're sitting there and wait. They late, whatever, and they come, get the kid. Refer to your ex, mom and dad. Nothing negative. I don't care what they call you. That's how you refer to them. Don't quiz your children about their visitation. That is not your business, and that's not your place. That's their private time with the one they love. That's part of their DNA. Be patient with them. If they come back and the parent ex let them stay up all night, they have to get acclimated. Every time you over there, you come back. Just be patient. Just be patient. Do not talk negatively about your ex in the presence of your child. Well, they're in there doing their homework and I'm on the phone. You don't have to do that. It's not necessary. And what you're doing is just opening up a wound that you won't even let heal. Every time you talk about it, you're hurting yourself emotionally. And most important, be consistent. Give them that life that you want them to have. You want them to have good food? While they're gone, make sure that you go to all of the supermarkets and get the best food that there is. Cut your time off with your friends and your boyfriend. That's their time. Make sure that homework, mealtime, worship time is consistent. I don't care what. Because if it's 50-50, it's 1 week on, 1 week off. But I found that those tips that I gave you, and more importantly, just pray it through, because my kids didn't come with no manual. But I honestly hope that this has been helpful to you. And again, this is Parenting with Your Ex. Will I come back and do one follow-up? You know what? Inbox me. I love to hear from you because I know firsthand that this can be very challenging. And what is the goal? Well, I done this so much. The goal is that, that one day, even though we're separate, okay, that we're still a unit. See, they still a unit. They tied together. We the same team. We just playing at different stadiums. And in that way, you keep your children from coming in front of me on that criminal side. Love them to life. Let them experience disappointment. Don't buy their love. Don't compromise and don't make excuses for your children. Your job as a parent is to train them, not to love them, but to train them. so that when you leave this earth, they can run with that ball the way you trained them to be. I love you. Until we meet again, thank you.